inside and out for game 2 in this series. And it's RandomBanana that took the first game with, pretty uneventful. There was a little bit of Liberator harass, which was nice. There was no harass whatsoever from the Protoss. And arguably, while the Protoss did a reasonably good job, FyreHeart, you did a pretty good job of getting up to 3 bases. You just didn't build enough army. And arguably, you stopped worker production much too early. Both players actually did that. Both of them just got to 46 or 45, 46 workers and just stopped. Whereas, ideally, I'd say at EMS level, 3 saturated bases is what you should aim for before you think about stopping building workers. So the other critique I would point out, FyreHeart, you didn't scout, that's all. I think you were going to, you sent the observer across the map, but then you F2'd at home, which didn't really achieve much, and it never did go back across. So at no time did you know how much army your opponent had or what type of army they had. So it was a pretty blind build. Now, as blind builds go, Blinkstalker Immortal is quite good, but what's good about it is using Blink to keep your Stalkers alive. Blinking forward aggressively is generally against the Terran gonna be a bad plan, because the Terran's always going to have siege tanks in the back, and you're just going to blink into range of those. Walk forward, blink back is pretty much always it. Yeah, so this pylon is out of sight, and I'm kind of curious about what it's going to do. There's another one here that's just confusing the hell out of me. Would it quite... Oh, hello. Sentries? Okay. It's not what I was expecting. But he's going to come in here nice and early. There's no repair going off in the bunker. The sentries did naffle. Literally nothing. The sentries don't really shoot. I mean, they can shoot for sure, but oh, this is not pretty to watch, is it? Finally, the siege tank goes down. Has RandomBanana got anything left? Not really. So he might have to fly this away, but surely he can. Yeah, now that the lib is out, the stalkers are going to have to back off. But RandomBanana, I think that'll lifted the CC. You could have put the workers in it, and the workers would have made it. Now that the siege tank's out, surely this is over. Sieging up. Yeah. Sentries? Sentries are, of course, spellcasters, and as such, they're pretty good. But you didn't actually cast any spells. If they haven't cast spells, they don't really do anything. RandomBanana with this worker sees the timing on this perfectly, so he knows that he's economically ahead. He knows that his base is down in mining. Although, with that said, why are there not workers being built? This isn't saturated. That's pretty criminal to not have your men saturated 6 minutes in. I mean, you've got to question that. So was it worth it? Was all that worth it? There was only one worker killed. Only one. And yeah, it did deny mining time for a while, but although not as long as just those idle workers did, to be honest. But RandomBanana is still economically ahead, reasonably substantially, so no, it wasn't worth it in the end. Sentries? Just so confused. You can do cool stuff with sentries. Charging up a ramp with them isn't one of those things. If there's a bunker, one of the things you can do is drop force fields behind it so that the SCVs can't get to it to repair it, and that's pretty potent. RandomBanana is gonna come in here with a drop by the looks of things, so we'll see whether this drop gets anything done. Yeah, the Terran with almost twice the supply of the Protoss at the minute, and more than twice the army supply. So this is beginning to look a little bit ominous for FyreHeart. Is there anything in production for FyreHeart? There isn't. There's no units being built. There's no workers being built. There's nothing being built right now. You're not building anything, FyreHeart. You've got to build stuff. If you're not building stuff, you're not doing it right. So the Marines are going to walk in and actually gun down quite... Oh, this is already well and truly worthwhile. I don't think you'll get the Nexus, so those are kind of wasted shots on the Nexus. I think you're better either trying to shoot a tech building or just get out of there. Just be pretty happy that actually, oh, you see, you're going to lose the medevac now, and that's a shame. You know, the number of workers that were killed, 9 dead workers, you just load up the medevac and say, oh, that was a job well done. If I can get out scot-free without even losing a single Marine, hell yeah, that is absolutely in the sweet zone. But, you know, look at the production tab. There's still no units being built for FyreHeart, and that is very concerning indeed. There's +1 air and there's workers being built, but like, there's 5 idle warp gates here, literally doing nothing. There's a Stargate here. You know, you've got 1 Void Ray and you're upgrading weapons for it, but you're not building more Void Rays. What the actual hell, FyreHeart? Come on, build stuff. You gotta build an army, otherwise you're gonna die. Your opponent's building an army. They're building siege tanks, they're building medevacs. They've already got an army 3 times the size of yours. And now finally a single carrier starts? I mean, come on. That is not going to cut the mustard. This Terran army is going to walk through this in the most painful manner imaginable. Combat shield, stim, and concussive shell all done. There's enough siege tanks here to just obliterate this on their own. The only thing that will survive will be the Void Ray. And there are how many Marines? 44. I think 44 Marines beats 1 Void Ray the last time I checked. And so this is going to be absolutely disgusting. There's just no way that Protoss doesn't die here. This is so much Terran. And honestly, the issue is just you didn't build any units. You know, for the longer, and still in the production tab, like pretty much every time I look at that production tab, no units being built. That can't make an army without building units. You cannot.